Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in Moscow, discusses bilateral ties, global and multilateral issues, reviews preparations for the 23rd Annual India-Russia Summit. At COP30, India calls for developed countries to reach net zero earlier and deliver climate finance in trillions, says summit should be a COP of implementation and of delivery on promises. UN Security Council adopts US resolution on Trump's Gaza plan, authorizes transitional authority and international stabilization force for the enclave. Trump hails UNSC vote. National Investigation Agency arrests another key associate of Red Fort car blast accused. Jasir Bilal Wani arrested from Srinagar. Indian shooters continue their remarkable run at Deaflympics in Japan, clinching 1 gold and 2 silver medals with record. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in Moscow. The leaders held discussions on bilateral partnership covering trade and investment, energy, mobility, agriculture, technology, culture and people-to-people exchanges. They also exchanged perspectives on regional, global and multilateral issues. Dr. S. Jaishankar and Lavrov also reviewed the preparations for the 23rd Annual India-Russia Summit set to take place in just 3 weeks from now.
As we prepare for President Putin's visit to India for the 23rd Annual Summit. A number of bilateral agreements, initiatives and projects are under discussion in various fields. We look forward to the finalization in the coming days. This will certainly add more substance and texture to our special and privileged strategic partnership. We will also be exchanging views on the complex global situation with the openness that has always characterized our ties. This includes the Ukraine conflict as also the Middle East and Afghanistan, amongst others. India supports recent efforts towards establishing peace.
While here in New Delhi, Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbanand Sonowal, held a meeting with President Putin's aide, Nikolai Patrushev. The two sides had fruitful discussions on boosting maritime cooperation, enhancing connectivity and partnership in the Indo-Pacific and Arctic regions. The minister expressed confidence that the shared vision and long-standing friendship between the countries will further advance a strong, future-ready maritime collaboration between our nations. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India-Russia relations continue to deepen, especially in the maritime domain. India has urged developed countries to demonstrate greater climate ambition and honor their commitments while delivering national statement at COP30 in Belém, Brazil. Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, called for COP30 to be remembered as a COP of implementation and a COP of delivery on promises. The minister conveyed India's appreciation to the government and people of Brazil for hosting COP30 in the heart of the Amazon. He further stressed the need for affordable, accessible climate technology and stated that climate technology must be free from restrictive intellectual property barriers.
Under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India has demonstrated successfully that development and environmental stewardship can advance in tandem. India's emission intensity has declined by over 36% since 2005. India's non-fossil fuel-based energy capacity, currently around 256 gigawatt, accounts for more than half of its total electric installed capacity. An NDC target achieved 5 years ahead of this schedule. Initiatives such as the International Solar Alliance and Global Biofuel Alliance have become global platform for performing affordable and clean energy.
Bhupendra Yadav also addressed the high-level ministerial segment on the International Big Cat Alliance COP30. He called for renewed global cooperation to protect big cat species and their habitats as part of integrated climate and biodiversity action. The event was also attended by the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock, Government of Nepal, Dr. Madan Prasar Bharati. The minister emphasized that ecological challenges today are deeply interconnected and require linked solutions. He informed the gathering about India's role as home to 5 of the world's 7 big cat species and outlined the country's major conservation successes. Yadav also met UK Secretary of State for Energy, Security and Net Zero, Edward Miliband, on the sidelines of the COP30 summit and discussed various issues related to climate. In a social media post on X, Minister stressed that he had a very meaningful engagement with Edward. Both the sides stressed on the importance of multilateralism and also deliberated upon critical agenda matters related to COP30 with particular focus on technology transfer, climate finance and transparency. Addressing the Lead IT Industry Leaders Roundtable during COP30, Bhupendra Yadav underscored India's commitment to collaborative, technology-driven and sustainable industrial transitions under the Paris Agreement. He also said that India continues to take forward ambitious domestic, regional and global initiatives spanning renewable energy, disaster resilience, biodiversity conservation and interventions in the industrial sector led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. As many as 18 industries and research institutions from India and Sweden will soon initiate projects involving value creation from industrial byproducts and gases, carbon capture and utilization, artificial intelligence for process optimization, electrification and hydrogen-based industrial heating. After Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal awarded the death sentence to the country's former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, New Delhi said that India remains committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh. In a statement, India's Ministry of External Affairs said, and I quote, India has noted the verdict announced by International Crimes Tribunal of Bangladesh concerning former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. As a close neighbor, India remains committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh, including in peace, democracy, inclusion and stability in that country. We will always engage constructively with all stakeholders to that end. Up next, we take a look at our report on the entire judgment and Sheikh Hasina's stand on it. Take a look.
Bangladesh's deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was on Monday sentenced to death in absentia by a special tribunal for crimes against humanity committed during the widespread protests against her government in July last year. The 3-member bench, led by Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtaza Mazumdar, read from a 453-page judgment that found Hasina guilty of ordering action against protesters.
In view of all the above facts and circumstances and findings, it is hereby ordered that accused Sheikh Hasina be found guilty on 3 counts under charge 1. Count number 1, incitement. Count number 2, order to kill. Count number 3, inaction to prevent the atrocities and failing to take punitive actions against the perpetrators. And thus she is punishable.
Reading out the judgment before a heavily guarded courtroom in Dhaka, the tribunal said the prosecution had proved beyond reasonable doubt that Hasina was responsible for the deadly crackdown during the July uprising.
On the second count, killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka, which was committed in contemplation, in furtherance, by virtue of her order, as stated beforehand. And similarly, she committed the same crime, that is the crime against humanity, on another count for causing the killings at Ashulia of Sabar, killing of 6 persons. For all these 3 counts, we have decided to inflict her with only one sentence, that is sentence of death.
Hasina condemned the ruling as biased and politically motivated, saying the trial conducted without her presence and with a state-appointed lawyer was unfair. She maintains she is willing to face a new trial under an international tribunal. Rabindra Chauhan's report, DD India.
India has issued an advisory on suspension of visa waiver facility extended to citizens travelling to Iran. The Ministry of External Affairs in a statement said that the attention of the government has been drawn to several incidents of Indian nationals being lured to Iran on false promises of employment or with assurance of onward transit to third countries. Now, these individuals were tricked into journeying to Iran by taking advantage of the visa waiver facility available for ordinary Indian passport holders. On arrival in Iran, many of them were kidnapped for ransom. The government of Islamic Republic of Iran has accordingly suspended the visa waiver facility available to ordinary Indian passport holders visiting Iran with effect from 22nd November 2025. This measure is intended to prevent further misuse of the facility by criminal elements. Spelling out more details on this, from this date, Indian nationals with ordinary passports would be required to obtain a visa to enter or transit through Iran. All Indian nationals intending to visit Iran are strongly advised to remain vigilant and avoid agents offering visa-free travel or onward transit to third countries via Iran. Continuing with its probe in the Red Fort area car bomb blast case, India's National Investigation Agency has arrested another key associate of the terrorists involved in the blast. Jasir Bilal Wani, alias Danish, also a Kashmiri resident, was arrested from Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir. NIA investigations have revealed that Jasir had allegedly provided technical support for carrying out terror attacks by modifying drones and attempting to make rockets ahead of the deadly car bomb blast, which killed 10 persons and left 32 persons injured. The accused, a resident of Kazigund in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir, was an active co-conspirator behind the attack and had worked closely with the terrorist Umar un-Nabi to plan the terror carnage. On Monday, NIA granted a 10-day custody of Umar's co-conspirator Amir Rashid Ali by the Patiala House Court. Kashmir resident Ali was arrested on Sunday. He reportedly conspired with Umar to carry out the terror attack. NIA continues to explore various angles to unravel the conspiracy behind the bombing. And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. In an effort to improve transparency and expedite case monitoring, Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad police on Monday launched a commissionerate courts monitoring system. The web-based platform allows both citizens and senior officers to track the progress of cases filed, thereby ensuring that judicial processes are accessible and understandable to the general public. Prayagraj city in Uttar Pradesh is preparing for the 40th All India Indira Marathon on November 19th. The 42.19 kilometers marathon will start from Anand Bhavan and end at Madan Mohan Malviya Stadium. It will feature male and female athletes over 18 years of age. Online and offline registrations are currently underway since November 4th. In Chhattisgarh, Chief Minister Vishnu Deo Sai inaugurated a coffee shop named Cafe Pandum in Bastar to provide employment opportunities for the Maoists who have surrendered. It offers training in hospitality and entrepreneurship, empowering individuals who previously lived through conflict to earn a dignified livelihood. The cafe stands as a symbol of social and economic transformation. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, aiming to curb drug trafficking, US acts tough against Mexico, threatening to launch strikes. Britain on way to make refugee status temporary to hasten deportation of illegal migrants. Shooting World Championship in Egypt comes to a close with Indian shooters claiming 13 medals.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. Let's get you more updates. The UN Security Council has adopted a US resolution detailing the mandate for the Gaza International Stabilization Force outlined in Trump's ceasefire. The resolution passed with over 14 votes in favor, 0 votes against, paving the way for the crucial next steps for the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Russia and China abstained from the vote. The text of the resolution says member states can take part in the so-called Board of Peace, envisioned as a transitional authority that would oversee reconstruction and economic recovery of Gaza. It also authorizes the International Stabilization Force, which would ensure a process of demilitarization of Gaza, including by decommissioning weapons and destroying military infrastructure. Trump's 20-point plan is included as an annex to the resolution. Hamas issued a statement on Friday backing the US drafted resolution. Israel and Hamas agreed last month to the first phase of Trump's Gaza plan. US President Donald Trump touts the UN Security Council's backing of his proposed Board of Peace, telling the audience during a speech in Washington that the body, which he says will include himself and leaders of very important and respected nations, marks one of the most important things the United Nations will ever do.
The Board of Peace, and it's going to be comprised of myself and leaders of other very important nations and very respected nations, and it's going to be something I think is going to be very important. It was just approved. It was just endorsed by the United Nations. It was pretty great. It's a big thing. I think it's one of the most important things the United Nations will ever do, actually.
United States President Donald Trump says that he will greenlight the sale of advanced F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia, signaling a departure in how Washington handles sophisticated weapons transfers to the Arab countries. Saudi Arabia has requested to buy as many as 48 F-35 fighter jets. The F-35 is widely regarded as the world's most advanced fighter jet, featuring technology that makes it difficult for enemy defenses to detect. Trump made the announcement on Monday at the White House, just one day before Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is due to visit.
No, I am planning on doing that. Yeah. They
sell
want to
the
buy.
F-35s?
They've been a great ally. They've got to like us very much. Look at the Iran situation, what we did in terms of obliterating, we obliterated their nuclear capability. Yeah, I will say that we will be doing that. We'll be selling F-35s. Yeah.
Attorney Gloria Allred and alleged Jeffrey Epstein victim Alicia Arden held a press conference on Monday, urging Congress to release the investigative files on Epstein.
I suffered so much pain.
So much pain.
So much pain.
I suffered so much pain. I was 14 years old.
I was 16 years old.
I was 16.
17.
14 years old.
This is me.
This was me.
This is me.
When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
This is me when I met Jeffrey Epstein.
There are about 1,000 of us.
time to bring the secrets out of the shadows. It's time to shine a light into the darkness.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday again backed efforts by House Republicans to release files related to Epstein, calling it a Democrat problem and accusing prominent Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton, of ties to the late financier. Trump dropped his long-standing opposition to the bill late on Sunday, days after a House petition gathered enough support to force a vote, a rare instance of House Republicans defying the president's wishes. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday said that he would launch strikes against Mexico if it would stop drugs from being trafficked into the United States. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Trump answered a question about potentially striking Mexico or sending American troops to the North American nation by saying that it would be okay by me.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is, look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there. If we had to, would we do there what we've done to the waterways? You know, there's almost no drugs coming in through our waterways anymore. Isn't it down like 85%?
It is, sir.
Britain announced plans to make refugee status temporary and accelerate the deportation of people who enter the country illegally on Monday. Britain's Labour government has introduced sweeping asylum charge changes designed to reduce abuse of the system and curb the growing influence of reform. UK, including extending the wait for permanent settlement from 5 to 20 years. The government warned it may impose visa bans on Angola, Namibia and the Democratic Republic of Congo if they refuse to take back illegal migrants and criminals. Under her proposals, the government wants to change the interpretation of Article 8 of ECHR so that family life is limited to immediate family members. Britain also plans to work with similar countries to reassess ECHR Article 3, arguing that its broadened definition of inhuman and degrading treatment makes deportation challenges too easy.
Act 2. We will do so by making refugee status temporary, not permanent. A grant of refugee status will last 2.5 years, not 5. It will be renewed only if it is impossible for a refugee to return home. Permanent settlement will now come at 20 years, not 5. Outside of the most exceptional circumstances, family reunion will not be possible, with a refugee only able to bring family over if they have joined a work and study route and if qualifying tests are met.
Let's talk of sports now. Indian shooters Anuya Prasad and Pranjali Prashant Dhumal claimed gold and silver medals in the 10 meters air pistol event at the 25th Summer Deaflympics in Tokyo. Anuya Prasad also broke the deaf final world record en route to winning the gold, and Pranjali broke the qualification world record to book her place in the finals. Mahala Sami of Iran won the bronze. In the men's event, Abhinav Deshwal shot 235.2 points to win the silver medal. Deshwal, who equaled the qualification world record, took India's shooting medals tally to 7 after 2 days of competition. Olympian Gurpreet Singh bagged a silver medal on the final day of the Shooting World Championship in Egypt. Gurpreet came agonizingly close to becoming the world champion in the 25-meter center fire pistol event, losing out on the gold medal by a whisker. It was Gurpreet's second individual medal at the championships, following a silver in the 25-meter standard pistol event at the 2018 edition. Indian shooters ended their campaign with a rich haul of 13 medals, including 3 golds, 6 silvers and 4 bronze medals. They finished in 3rd position behind China and South Korea. Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi kept India's challenge alive at the FIDE World Cup 2025 in Goa, holding Chinese star Wei Yi to a confident 31-move draw in their quarterfinal opener. The Indian prodigy showed superb preparation in the Rai Lopez closed system, maintaining a time edge throughout and simplifying into a drawn rook and pawn ending. With the white pieces in Game 2, he now has a golden chance to press for victory and move closer to the Vishwanathan Anand Cup final and a candidate's 2026 berth. With that, we end this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.